trio is killing it right now. 7 points in the lead. I would say it's anybody's game. That's totally not true. You're looking at probably the top 5 to 6 teams that even have a chance at the money. Top 3 getting paid out today. But folks, we have one more map to go, and I believe the gameplay might be ready here in just a moment. All right, so lock in. Get your grill sharks out if you already have them. If you don't, what are you doing? Go to grillshark.com. But if you do, hang it out, put it in your hand, hang it on the wall, whatever you need to do for the good juju, because we have one map to go before the solo YOLO. We got a couple teams vying for that cash. While we have a moment, Katie, we should probably talk about that breakdown again. Can you break down where we're at with our $15,000 and how much each of our teams can earn?
If you get first place, $7,500 straight into your pocket. $4,500 for second place and $3,000 for third. Now, if you manage to take first and then you go on to win the solo YOLO, which would be by far the most impressive feat in this tournament, you as an individual player, Goj, get an additional $2,000. If you win the solo YOLO, it will be one map, free for all, last player standing, $2,000 in their pocket on top of the top 3 placing for the trio customs part of the tournament. So a lot of money to be given out, a lot of grill sharks that are being given out. And I just want to say, it is a very typical performance from chat. I don't see a wrong spelling in sight anymore.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the correction, Katie. You've always been better at spelling than me, so I appreciate that a ton. Get your grill sharks now. Game's about to be underway. We talked through the leaderboard. We've talked through the gameplay. Katie, it's been fast-paced. As fast, honestly, as you could possibly expect from teams like this. They believe they've got a chance to regain. It's bitten a couple teams in the butt like a shark would if you're swimming out in the ocean. And some of the teams it's paid off for. The team at the top has played incredibly consistent, doesn't overcommit or overpush things that they don't necessarily have a high percentage chance of winning. That's DBZ Smith. On the other side, TBE has contested nearly every single drop and has pushed nearly every fight they can get their hands on. Those are the two teams at the top. But I'm looking at Wars. I'm looking at Goat Clamp. Both those teams can pop off. If there's a team that drops a 60 on the last map, I think, although TBE's already done it, I think it's Goat Clamp squad. You cannot count out that team. Currently sitting in 4th place right now at about 113 points. They need a big one, but they can do it. It is a dynamic team with a bunch of massive slayers. If things go right, all of them can drop 10 to 15 kills apiece, and you could look at one of the biggest games we've ever seen.
We've ever seen. My goodness, of all time ever. And
Facts.
I can't do math, so I'll leave it to you to verify all of those scores, Coach. I will do the spelling, you will do the math, and it will be a harmonious cast for the ending of the Al Mazrah cook-off powered by Grill Shark. Let's do it. Wars on your screen. Shake off the nerves. This is where you want to close it out. They're feeling good. They've got the energy, and that is an ugly circle to look at. My goodness, about half of it off the map entirely. So, Coach, when we talk about action, we might be getting a little more of it early on.
Yeah, it's also worth noting Al Mazrah City is not in the zone, so you might still have teams drop there, but it's not going to be as hotly contested as it has been in the past. Likely you see a couple teams like DBZ Smith maybe like to just not even go there at all because you're having to early wrap and rotate. Oh my goodness, there's like 4 or 5 teams here. This is the last map. We didn't even have time to talk about the insane chaos that could come from this. We're picking up 2, 3 team wipes with pistols from distance. TBE off to a hot start. Things going exactly the way they planned. And apparently, everyone else had the exact same idea of where they wanted to drop. And TBE is better for it.
Yeah, my goodness, that is just aggression right off rip, and no surprise, that's kind of been what they've been doing through the majority of the tournament. They haven't worried about going to the gulag early because it really hasn't impacted them except for maybe one map where they went out pretty early on. Almond, though, is downed, does not have the self-revive. It looks like maybe not necessarily in a position to get him just yet, but there we go, Super Evan. That is the down we saw from the other side just a moment ago. Almond straight to the gulag early on. Can the rest of the team survive here? And, well, answer no for the time being. Super Evan, a beautiful down with that streak. Super Evan gets both of them, actually. The comms looking great.
He's over there somewhere.
My goodness, how many times now have we seen TBE go out early in the map and then come back and make it into the top 5, top 6?
Yeah, every time, Katie. Every time is your answer. I gotta say, as much as Revan was frustrated by him dying to the precision airstrike, his cluster was even better. So can't be too upset about that. Now, Colors Falls trying to clean up, I believe, the rest of TBE.
Start resing him.
Gonna mortar himself just to make sure there's some cover. Where Swagg should be able to grab the res. They won't be hurt by it. Super Evan's going to be careful. But, hey, mortar comes in. There's the kill on Tommy. Likely Noobs has backed up, not trying to go to Gulag early and try to win this 1v4 against a really good squad. And I believe Super Evan and Co are probably going to try to hunt down their competition. Whoa, okay. Well, that's one way to start. If you're looking at our screen, you're saying, what are you talking about, Goj? Bottom left corner, Unrational and Huskerrs. Full dead, only Scummin last alive. That was one of the teams that was wiped by TBE, Katie.
Yeah, and there you go. TBE, team wiped. They will all head to that gulag now. Not full eliminated, so again, don't count them out because there's one thing they're good at. It is being resilient in situations like this. Oakboy able to get one, another team wipe.
Nice.
Coming out, pushing H-May's team. That's Chrissy, H-May, and Ken's straight to the gulag. They might be the ones who end up going up against TBE. But a great job from them to get some early eliminations as we swing over to the team in first place, but only by a few. And, well, Destroy, that's not what you want to see happen. Joewo takes him out. Looks like first and second place maybe taking their turns in the gulag a little earlier than they would like to. And, well, Tommy, not too happy, but a gulag victory for Noobs. I don't know if both of them lost. I assume Tommy must have lost his. I don't know what happened with Allman, but at least Noobs out of the gulag.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see Tommy spectating Noobs there. Now, Z-Smith's gotten some revenge on Bread, okay? Joewo was the one that killed Destroy. Grenades are going to root him out. Fantastic placement. Limax answers back in kind and grabs the trades. All 3 players on DBZ Smith are now in the gulag or have been there. So both TBE and DBZ Smith, the top 2 teams, burned all of their gulags within the first minute or 2 of the game. This could be a slight window open for Team Wars or Team Goat Clamp, and I'm not going to say it, I'm calling it. We'll see what happens with Goat Clamp squad. I'm just worried that Biffle, Goat Clamp, and Sage, they might come out of nowhere and drop a victory here. Oh, especially when Destroy falls. Oh, no. The caster curse is so real. Z-Smith's got to win this.
Usage. Oh my goodness. You can see Z-Smith, thank goodness. But Destroy does get the early shots onto Ken's, but it's Ken's with the tack that jars Destroy's screen just enough that he really couldn't track the way she was able to and falls in that gulag. So again, both first and second place in a bit of a pickle right now. A scramble for them to try and hit those regains. Who can do it better? Well, it's going to be Aydan back in the gulag versus Jukies. Who can come out on top? Well, you get the first. You try and throw the Semtex in. Not able to connect, but just waiting. Figure out exactly where he's gotten. And, well, you don't have to wait because he's going to come to you. He's going to take you out. We got to stop spectating people in the gulag. It never ends well when we do.
They're knocked.
Nice knock here. That was certainly not a bot, and neither is that one. That's 2 down on the side of, I believe, Shifty. We'll find Uncivil Queen, Sparrows, and Natasha all gone. It's a quick team wipe for the boys. This is a team that's maybe a bit underperforming where we thought they could be. They are top 5, but when top 3 is the only people making any cash today, they got to make a move and they got to make it now. If our top 2 teams do drop out early, though, that window is open. It's not a door, Katie. It is a small window, but it is open. And if there's any team that can bust through a window and surprise a few folks, it's certainly Hisoka, Shifty, and Skullface.
That's going to be Raided's team falling. Super Evan already on 4 eliminations. And I agree, Goats. They are always going to be a team, Hisoka and Co, that if they have an opportunity, they will do their best to try and seize it. And, well, Aydan just trying to scurry away for his life as the rest of his team waiting for their turns in the gulag. But I'll have to see. He's just struggling to get any moment of reprieve. These teams tracking him down as a buy goes off in the distance. Adrian, a nice win on Uncivil Queen in the gulag there to at least get back and take some of the pressure off of Aydan. But it's going to be Z Colors and Co who are right in the thick of it. And, well, so far, seems like they're doing a good job of coming out on top. But now Z Colors, can you get the self-revive off in time? The answer, yes. Wars versus Joewo. NAVEU. Get those initial tacks off. Tries to get a spot. Sees him around the corner. And what waits for it, and it's that play from the top rope 3 different times now, Coach. We have seen someone fly out from the top and win that gunfight.
By the way, that means DBZ Smith, TBE, and Wars' team have all used their gulag, okay? So our top 3 teams have no safety net, and they're at risk of opening up a window for somebody to come along. Now, as we have a brief moment here, I want to set the scene, Katie. DBZ Smith currently in the lead, 152.4 points, okay? Top 3 get paid out. 5th place Shifty Squad is at 99.2. So Shifty's team needs at least 52.8 in order to tie Destroy's team. And they need DBZ Smith to not improve upon their lowest score, which is certainly a reasonable ask. But that's how far of a gap we have currently between 1st and 5th. So really what it is a battle between the top 3 for how much money we're making, with Goat Clamp Squad having the ability to jump up as they're at 113.
I'm going to trust that all of that was correct. It sounded very smart, Coach. So I'm going to agree with you as I take a look at that score sheet. Yeah. We'll have to see again. Keep in mind, everyone, we talk about these scores as the top 3 are currently Destroy, Tommy, and Wars, that those could potentially shift, not only due to the scores in map 6, but the fact that we have a dropped map. Your worst map for each team will get dropped. That score will be removed. Juki's down. The rest of the team scrambling around the smoke to try and hit that revive. We swing over to Z Colors, able to take down Apathy, no problem. A nice gulag victory, right back into the action. Super Evan, still waiting on his, as that second circle continues to creep ever closer. FIFA, 2 eliminations.
He's in the black side, he's looking at me.
Not afraid to fly toward this building, figure out exactly where this player is. Flush him out and get that 30 limb.
Yeah, as a reminder too, like you might be looking at FIFA Kill score, you might be looking at some of the other teams scoring, and be like, well, why are they even trying? Like, they don't have any chance at money. Yeah. You got to remember, there's a $1.2 million Warzone series that's about to be good. It's actually going on right now. The regional finals is next week, and these teams are World Series of Warzone teams, right? Like FIFA Kill got invited straight to the finals for EU. Some of our NA squads are playing, like NYSL with Aydan, etc. Seattle Surge with Unrational, Huskerrs, and Scummin. So these teams are practicing. This is some of the best practice you can get, especially in the late game where the teams are a little bit more what you'll see in World Series of Warzone, of about 50 to 60 players going into the final couple circles. This can be about normal, so they're gonna fight every single game in order to get high repetitions. You don't oftentimes have this caliber of player all playing inside the same customs lobby. So this is the team, Katie, I shouted out. I said watch out for. Now they're at the stronghold. They're gonna make sure they get their loadouts. They're gonna try to get their tempered, all that jazz. But this is really the only other team that could break inside the top 3, but they need a banger. And right now, it doesn't look like a banger unless I think his Goat Clamp on your screen is maybe, tapped for his teammates and they have several kills apiece.
Yeah, keep in mind though, there are plenty of players left, plenty of kills to be had, so they could certainly pick it up. But I agree, the elims as of right now aren't overwhelming in terms of being on pace for a high-level game. We swing over Destroy's team, all back in action and regained, which makes me think TBE probably has to be as well, which is why, again, if you go to the Gulag in a 66-player custom, your ability to regain is so much more feasible than if it was a packed lobby. Z Smith falls, though. Clutch Milk falls as too, and that's Hisoka. There we go. Well, Tommy's team, okay, things aren't looking great. Good news, Noobs does have the money to be able to get them back, but now the first and second place teams both only have 1 player alive with actually very similar cash amounts. Noobs may be in a better position because, well, he doesn't have a team actively trying to hunt him. Can you get to the buy station? My goodness. Sometimes that can be such a stressor to see if you can get there and just get the purchases off. But at least seems some good vibes. Drop the smoke. Always a smart play. Able to get everyone back in action. Whew, that got real scary, though. We'll see if Noobs is able to do the same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Noobs was swimming through the water like a shark. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But 2 teams, all, like you called out, both on solos, able to get the buyback. Now, this is something we've seen from them all day today, though. It's really not that surprising. Fantastic at playing their own lives. Fantastic at getting out of combat when they don't want to be in combat. rotating around, hitting the buys, getting everybody back and stabilized probably quicker than you would even expect. So little bird's eye view here from Clutch, Belk, and Smit. Likely going to get some comms here from Belk on where they want to go, where they want to regain to, and hopefully they can grab a few eliminations. I would love to get a word. I'm gonna shout this into the ether and see if our amazing production team can help me out. Could I get a word on the worst game from DBZ Smith? I want to see what they've got to beat in this game, because Katie, they've been so consistent that the likelihood of them improving upon their lowest game is honestly fairly low. Like, their lowest game is still pretty solid, so with the start that they've had, they might not even improve their score. Now, they might not need to, because they have 152 points, but something to keep an eye out for. I'd love to see if production could help me out with that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see as all the numbers get crunched. We can take a look at the data. But Wars, this is the team that really shined in map 5. Can they do it again and try and solidify themselves, not just as 3rd place, but potentially in top 2? We'll have to see. There we go. As they swing on in, looking to figure out where the rest of the players are. At least one streak a little ahead of them on the map, an indicator that someone is nearby, but the shots come out. Well, now it's ready to get into a gunfight, flying down the steps. Waiting for just a moment to make sure that a stray precision airstrike doesn't clip their toes, send them to a downed position. But all of them just waiting. Comms figuring out exactly what they want to do, where they want to go. Because if you take a hyper-aggressive push now, you could absolutely be punished for it.
All right, Katie. Production is the best. They got me the numbers. We did the math. DBZ Smith's lowest scoring game thus far is 25.6. If I type the numbers into my calculator the right way. 6th place with 16 elims is their worst game. You kidding me? We got to beat 25.6? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the nature of the format. Can sometimes punish consistency. But we'll have to see how everything plays out, because again, we still have a whole lot more of map 6 to get through before everything is done and dusted and we can see exactly what happens here. So we swing back to Wars, everyone alive and well, but just trying to figure out what they want to do. And again, we get into the conversation, Goj, where you have to ask, are you starting to waste time by sitting here for as long as you have been?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if you're looking at our amount of teams left, there's not I mean, there's 14, right? Which is plenty, but you're in 3rd circle. It's actually moving pretty quickly. And I was talking a little bit how most teams are playing true. Still more aggressive this map than we've seen in the past. This is probably the lowest player count we've seen going into this level of 3rd circle. And still opportunity for some kills. But overall, you know, Wars' team wants to make sure they have high ground going into the final fights. I don't know what their lowest score is, but they haven't been nearly as consistent as DBZ Smith. So likely they only need a decent score and to improve their score, and they want to try to hedge their best to 3rd. Now let's tune into the action. Clutch Belk is down. Z Smith's in trouble. He gets a play in. Who's on the other side? It's Huskerrs fighting for his life, not only in this fight, but also on the leaderboard. Huskerrs on Rational Scum and would love to end today with a little bit of a positive note, wiping one of the best teams in the game. And I think quickly Destroy and Z-Smith think that they don't have the upper hand. They back out and split to make sure they don't get wiped, Katie.
And that's a very smart decision, because neither of them has the money for a buyback either. So a team that does appreciate staying together and playing very clustered, that's just going to increase your likelihood at this point of being taken out. Destroy getting shots in the back, and this is looking very rough for the 1st place team. You have a lot of open space in front of you that you have to get through to get away, and well, if you have Huskerrs tracing you down in a vehicle, that's going to be that much more difficult. We'll see if they're able to survive. As Huskerrs on Rational and Scum, and I don't think they quite know if it's 1 or 2 people, but there you go. Destroy able to get into a vehicle and trying to get away, but just having so much trouble, cannot catch a break. This is going to be it. The moment that he comes in, he's able to get the down, and that'll be Destroy taken out. And truly unfortunate, just not a moment for him to live. But Z-Smith, alternatively, and why the split was so important, has stayed alive.
Great call out, Katie. That's exactly what I was going to say. This is why they split. They knew one of them would be hunted down, because when on Rational Scum and Huskerrs... Oh! No! That is so unlucky. After the 5 head plays all day today, It comes down to a Claymore and a bouncing Betty. Smith goes down. DBZ Smith is out of the last map. Folks at home, I've been talking about how consistent DBZ Smith have been playing today. Lowest game was 25.6. So their score of 152.4 will stand. So I don't believe they added to it. Now, Katie, that right there is we got to pour one out for the boys. That might be the worst caster curse I've ever seen in my Warzone casting history. I was lauding Smith's ability to split and play the 5-head IQ play, and he gets obliterated by a Claymore and a bouncing Betty. Man.
Warzone giveth and taketh away, Goj, and seems to be doing them no favors in this final map. TBE with the regain here. We'll have to see what they're able to do elimination-wise. They will be broadcasting their placement, but they might have already done the math. Maybe they realize all they need is placement, potentially, but Tommy flies on in. No one taking too many shots at them. Looking like they're just trying to figure out where it'll be safe to land and try and set up for the remainder of the map.
Whew, I got to regain after that one myself. Good thing I've got a grill shark here that helps me regain faster than any other product on the market. 7-1 right here. It's fantastic. I might be showing an 8th use on broadcast after the end of this game. Lock it back in for TBE. A chance to improve their scores. A chance to take first place in the Al Mazrah cook-off. Katie, they were behind, I believe, a total of 7.2 points. But that 7.2 points doesn't just come from this game. It has to be 7.2 points better than their worst game. However, I think their worst game's like 4 points. So I'll get a word from production. Maybe they can help me out again for TBE. They got to stay alive here. Don't think they have that many points. They've been in a bit of a blender. But I think they're going to be able to find their way from the blender to the grill and into Grill Shark's pocket to take their money.
Now we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, playing this very passively and for good reason so far. And they're right into the water. And again, this might just all be about placement and final positioning for them. You can hear some of the comms, I think, coming out from Almond, perhaps. Wars, maybe no idea how close TBE is to them. Prodigy, one player down. The other teammate to Wars just trying to take these pot shots. Not able to connect with them just yet. But Wars, the comms coming in, just trying to get some easy shots. Jumps into the water to get away, create some breathing room, but you're also being hunted. And, oh, that's got to hurt because, yes, you might be in the water. But, again, that bounty is going to be a live UAV for that team everywhere you are. Prodigy, again, trying to connect with the shots, just not having too much luck.
Yeah, I did confirm, by the way. Production's always got me. I was almost exactly correct. TBE's worst game, not even a 4, a 3.6 that they're improving upon. And they've got to beat a 3.6 in order to take first by 7.2. So you all can do the math on that, but it's 10.8 is the total points they need in order to grab first place. Will that happen? Very likely. Has it happened already? Most likely. I don't know if anybody could play spoiler. They'd have to play spoiler right now, and even still, they might have enough. So only time will tell, but let's keep an eye on this map and see who comes out on top, because we're into the 6th circle. Half of it's in the water, Katie, and we still have over 10 teams left.
Over 10 teams left, and that point multiplier going to be so integral here. Prodigy. Let's see if Wars can save the day. Shouldn't be too difficult. The staircase going to be the safety zone for them for the time being. But you got to keep in mind, too, there's a lot of utility that you're going to be using that you want to be able to save for the end of the game. And we're almost there. 24 players left, 10 teams remaining as we get into the final portion of the multipliers. We're at, I think, about 1.6 multiplier right now. Prodigy, slow and steady, just trying to figure out where exactly these teams are. You don't want to be too aggressive, but there's TBE, and, well, I think they've made the play here in the final point. Slow and steady, use the helicopter to work their way over. They've got the utility, they've got the setup, and they need very little to be able to close it out.
We'll talk more about TBE later, about what they've been able to do. It's not all she wrote. There's still a chance here, especially as Townies goes down. Wars' team is still alive as well, okay? So this is a big moment for Team Wars to have a chance to strike TBE. TBE needs to fall, and they need to fall basically right now. Team Wars also had a pretty chalk game they're replacing, so an opportunity for both to potentially both pass DBZ Smith. Well, I spoke too soon again. Team Wars out of here. The question is, how much do they improve their last score? It won't be enough to take down DBZ Smith. And with TBE still alive, it probably won't be enough to take down TBE. You're likely looking at your winners of the Al Mazrah cook-off, but let's see who the winner of this map is. Can they finish it with a bang? Can they harken back to their Caldera domination? Can they harken back to being the winningest trio of all time by winning the last map? Only time will tell, but Katie, things are looking great for them as they find Hisoka on the other side as well.
In the wall, jumped in the wall, knocked.
Yeah, this is pretty much wrapped. I think we can call it what it is. I mean, in terms of the final placements, I think we already know what's about to happen, but consistency across the board from a lot of these teams. TBE doing it exceptionally well alongside the likes of Destroy's team, Wars as well. Unfortunately, they fell just a little bit beforehand, but you can hear the comms coming through this team. The comms always been one of their strong suits as Noobs falls. Tommy there to get the pick onto Skullface, and well, he may fall, but again, it does not matter. Soko with the trade. And Biffle right into the water. Biffle and Clamp does have 9 eliminations out of Biffle.
I'm telling you.
We'll have to see what happens with them. They are in 4th with 113 points, but I feel like you're going to have to get all these kills and get first place if you really want to try and shake things up.
Yeah, so let's like set the scene, because you're right. They're 40 points behind DBZ Smith and where they ended. Now, Biffle in trouble and goes down. This could spell disaster for the team that had an opportunity. Biffle was at, I think, on 9. We've only got 2 here on the side of Clamp, but he's kind of playing the slower support character. And hey, he'll play it, get 3, find Smixy, and work his way into the top 5. They have an opportunity here to catch Wars. I don't think Team Wars had a ton of kills. This could put them into the money if Clamp clutches up. He's got position. He's out in the open. A few bushes to play with. Needs to catch a couple people rotating. Is able to do just that. There's 1. The other gets cleaned up by somebody else. That's a third party. 4 teams left. Total of 5 players. Huge moment. All eyes on Goat Clamp to try to win some money for this squad. Keep your head up. Finds 1 crossing. That's 1. Find another. Is able to get it. In the gas and in trouble. In the top 3, though. Grabs the multiplier and a few more elims. If they don't look over, Goat Clamp can stay alive. No. Cleaned up. Still a fantastic map, though, for Goat Clamp. Goes big in the final moments. Let's see this final battle here, Katie. It's a pistol fight. And a track wins it. I don't know who was on the other side, but hey, shout out to a track winning the final map. Team Smixy getting on the board.
My goodness. Team Smixy closes it out with a Warzone win at the very end. Clamp's team trying desperately to shock things for the final top 3, but who knows if it'll be enough. We do know that they got at least a 1.8 multiplier, I believe, and they had, I think, high teens, if not low 20s in terms of kills. So who knows?